The forest is alive at night, not just with the sounds of animals, but with whispers, footsteps, and things that shouldn't exist. These are three true, terrifying encounters deep in the woods, where no one was supposed to be watching, but something was. Jacob loved hiking alone. He found peace in the deep, untouched wilderness, but one night, he discovered that something was hiking with him. It started as a feeling, like being watched. The air felt too still, too quiet. No birds, no wind, just silence. He camped out near a small clearing, setting up his tent and lighting a fire. But as he ate, he saw it. Eyes, not the glowing kind you expect from animals. These were human eyes, just barely visible between the trees, watching, unmoving. Jacob's breath caught in his throat. "Who's there?" he called. No answer. He grabbed his flashlight and shone it towards the trees. Nothing. Just leaves and darkness. But when he turned the light off, the eyes were still there. Jacob didn't sleep that night. The next morning, as he packed up and left, he found footprints circling his campsite. They weren't his, and worse, they didn't lead to the camp. They only led away. The whispering trees. Mia was an experienced camper, used to the solitude of the woods. One night, she and her dog, Benny, camped miles away from any town. The deeper the forest, the better, until she realized she wasn't alone. Around midnight, Benny woke her up, growling low. His ears perked, eyes locked on something in the distance. Mia sat up listening. That's when she heard it. A whisper, not words, just a breathy, inhuman sound coming from the trees. She held her breath, straining to hear. Was it the wind? But then it moved. The whisper drifted from one side of the forest to the other, circling her tent. Benny bared his teeth. Mia grabbed her flashlight and unzipped the tent, shining the light outside. Nothing. Just trees and darkness. But Benny wouldn't stop growling. She tried to go back to sleep, but just as she was drifting off, the whisper was inside the tent. She bolted out, Benny right behind her. She never packed up, never looked back, but as she ran, she heard the whispers turning into something else. Laughter. Story 3. The Vanishing Cabin. Tom had heard the local legends, stories of an old cabin deep in the woods, one that only appeared at night. Some said it was cursed. Others swore it was just an illusion. But Tom? He wanted to see it for himself. After hours of hiking, the sun had set and the moonlight barely illuminated his path. And then, there it was, a cabin, old, abandoned, but standing. It hadn't been there before. The wooden door hung open, as if inviting him inside. Tom hesitated but stepped forward. The inside was wrong, dusty furniture, a fireplace still warm, a single chair facing the door, and then, on the table, he saw it, a fresh cup of tea. His gut screamed at him to leave, but before he could turn, the door slammed shut. The room shifted. The walls seemed to breathe. Shadows stretched and twisted. And then behind him, a voice. "You shouldn't have come." Tom never saw who spoke, because when he yanked the door open and ran, the cabin was gone. Just trees, just silence, like it had never been there at all. The forest holds secrets, some we can explain, and some we never will. If you ever find yourself alone in the woods at night, listen closely. You might not be as alone as you think.